Natalya Nikolayevna Demkina, born 1987 in Saransk, Mordovia. Usually known under the hypocoristic naming Natasha Demkina, is a young woman from Saransk, Russia, who claims to possess a special vision that allows her to look inside human bodies and see organs and tissues, and thereby make medical diagnoses. She is popularly known as the girl with X-ray eyes. Since the age of 10, she has performed readings in Russia. After describing her mother's internal organs to her, Demkina's story began to spread by word of mouth among the local population, and people began gathering outside her door seeking medical consultations. The doctors at a children's hospital in her hometown asked her to perform a number of tasks to see if her abilities were genuine. Demkina is reported to have drawn a picture of what she saw inside a doctor's stomach, marking where he had an ulcer. Her story was picked up by a local newspaper in spring 2003, and a local television station followed suit in November that year. This led to interest from a British tabloid newspaper, which invited her to give demonstrations in London, as well as further invitations from groups in New York and Tokyo. In May 2004, she was brought to New York City by the Discovery Channel to appear on a documentary titled The Girl with X-ray Eyes. The team of CSICOP, along with CSMMH, Commission for Scientific Medicine and Mental Health, met Natasha and presented her with 7 subjects with various medical conditions. Prior to her test, all the medical conditions of the subjects were informed to her. She only had to identify the subjects and their respective medical conditions. The CSICOP scientific team needed Natasha to identify at least 5 out of 7 subjects correctly to pass the test. After more than 4 hours of testing, Natasha could manage to identify only 4 subjects correctly. The researchers were not impressed. They compared the belief of people in Demkina's diagnosis to the belief of people in fortune tellers, and said that people focus only on those portions of Demkina's comments that they believe. The researchers concluded that she had not demonstrated evidence of an ability that would warrant their further study. Subsequently, the design and conclusions of this experiment were subjects of considerable dispute between Demkina's supporters and those of the investigators. After completing experiments in New York, Demkina made several complaints in regards to the conditions under which they were conducted, and about the way in which she and her diagnoses were treated. Demkina then traveled to Tokyo Electrical University in Japan, at the invitation of Professor Yoshio Machi, who studies claims of unusual human abilities. After her experiences in London and New York, Demkina set several conditions for the tests, including that the patients bring with them a medical certificate stating their health status, and that the diagnosis be restricted to a single specific part of the body. Professor also arranged for a test to take place in a veterinary clinic, where Demkina was asked to diagnose an anomaly in a dog. She correctly discerned that the dog had a prosthesis implanted in its right hind paw. In a final test, Demkina was able to diagnose a person's condition from a passport photo, correctly identifying liver cancer. At the conclusion, she was provided with a document certifying her ability as genuine. Demkina graduated high school with highest honors and achieved her goal of winning a place in Moscow University's prestigious medical school. For some time she worked in a center established for her practice and that of other psychic healers, the Special Diagnostic Center of Natalya Demkina. Its website is now defunct, and the English-speaking world seems to have lost track of her. Thanks for watching.